Hello everyone, welcome to EduTerrain and a warm good morning to you all. So hope you all had a great holiday yesterday, enjoyed your day along with your preparation. So without wasting much time, let's start today's session wherein we'll be dealing with the MCQs, the most important MCQs of regular current affairs of 12th April. So कल जो session miss हुआ उसका कैसा? See that I'll be adding those questions in the coming sessions. In 2 or 3 days we'll be covering those questions as well, MCQs as well. So we are not going to miss out on anything. With this introduction, let me start today's session. The first question. See, very recently there was a news about the chitals, that is the spotted deer. Their unchecked growth has led to an invasive problem on, just give me a second. Yes, has led to an invasive problem on Netaji Subhash Chandra Bose Island, okay, which is very close to Port Blair. And they have depleted the local ground vegetation, and in order to save that vegetation, the local vegetation, even the government authorities on that island, they're spending lots of close to 15 to 20 lakhs rupees per month on feeding them. Okay, so now based on this news article, now you have to tell me which of these statements are true. Netaji Subhash Chandra Bose Island lies south of Port Blair. Cheetal naturally are indigenous to Netaji Subhash Chandra Bose Island. The cheetal is listed on the IUCN, International Union for Conservation of Nature, red list as a species of least concern. Yes. Now when we talk about this Subhash Chandra Bose Island, actually it lies east of Port Blair. And these cheetals are not indigenously, naturally they're not indigenous to this particular island. During British regime, in order for their game hunting, they have introduced cheetals from outside onto this island. Later they have left them like that, and slowly they have multiplied, and now they are causing invasive problem on this particular island. And yes, cheetal is listed on the IUCN red list as a species of least concern. We have 9 categories on this list, right from completely extinct, okay, to least concern. Least concern मतलब अगर कुछ भी नहीं भी करेंगे तो they'll be able to survive in this environment, no problem at all. But maybe in future there might be problem, that's altogether another issue. But otherwise लीस्ट एक्सटेंट कम्प्लीटली अभी है ही नहीं इस दुनिया में, इस वर्ल्ड में है ही नहीं. ओके, बेस्ड ऑन दैट द कैटेगरी ऑफ द कंसर्न they have categorized under 9, and this falls under the least concern category. So only 3 is correct, rest 2 are wrong. Okay, only statement 3 is correct. As you can see, 15 to 20 lakhs per month the Andaman and Nicobar Forest Department is spending to feed the cheetal due to vegetation depletion. Okay, and they typically mate during the monsoon season, and they're proliferously increasing their population here on this island, leading to the depletion of vegetation. Moving on to our next question. Very recently, one of these currencies has launched ZIG. Okay, a new gold-backed currency aimed at stabilizing its economy amidst hyperinflation. Hyperinflation, बहुत high inflation. Yes. They have done lot of changes in their currencies also, this particular country, owing to the inflation that they are facing, and it is none other than the Zimbabwe that is facing. And here this ZIG currency will be backed by precious minerals, primarily gold or foreign exchange reserves, aiming to prevent rapid devaluation and restore the trust in the local currency. And on 2019, Feb 2019 also, their Reserve Bank Governor John Mangodia announced the introduction of the new Zimbabwean dollar, initially called the real-time gross settlement dollar. All these in order to maintain the financial stability in their country. The new country includes notes ranges from 1 to 200 with the intention to restore the confidence in the local monetary system, where they are losing out on the value devaluation of their currency is happening, because of which they had to introduce new currency that backed by gold backed currency. ये गोल्ड का वैल्यूएशन तो हाई ही है इंटरनेशनल मार्केट में स्टिल. सो इन ऑर्डर टू save there, they have done this. Now very recently Ireland has elected its youngest ever prime minister. Now you have to tell me who is that person. He is aged 37, okay, and with the distinction of becoming the country's youngest prime minister. Earlier also he worked with the government in various posts. Yes, you can try, keep on trying. Even if it's wrong, I'll be providing you with the answer and guiding you. He had held the Health and Higher Education Ministry, and he is Simon Harris. And he has succeeded Leo Varadkar. Okay, Simon Harris, aged 37, prior experience in Health and Higher Education Ministry. So he has a good amount of experience, even being the youngest Prime Minister. Moving on to our next question. Oh, sorry. I'm really sorry. मैंने चेक नहीं किया था. Recently released household consumption expenditure survey is published by whom? As the answer has been revealed, let me tell you the answer. It is National Statistical Office. Okay, it's National Statistical Office, which is under the Ministry of Statistics and Program Implementation. They have published this particular report, that is for the year 2022-23. Okay, and every 5 years this report is published, but 2017-18 में जो report था, that they didn't publish, citing the government has cited that they couldn't get adequate data, because of which they are not able to publish. Again, they are publishing it now. Now here state-wise data and union territories data across rural and urban regions have been provided based on the all India estimates of the average household monthly per capita consumption expenditure. That is how much they are going for expenditure, and this also includes a distribution of expenditure into broad items for food and non-food categories. Okay, and this will help, because it's almost 10 years that we haven't seen this data, so this will help a lot in understanding the poverty estimates. Even the Niti Aayog said, based on this report, and even before only a few months back only, it has said that poverty in India has gone down by almost 5%. Okay, and will provide insights into the household consumption patterns. Based on their consumptions, we can understand how much they are including in food, how much they are including on non-food categories, etc. This will help us how well off they are. Okay, moving on to our next question from the same report. According to the Household Consumption Expenditure Survey 2022-23, which of these following statements is true? The average MPCE of the bottom 5% of the India's urban population is higher than that of the rural population. The state with the highest rural-urban difference in average MPCE is Chhattisgarh. The MPCE in urban areas of Sikkim is lower than that in rural areas. The MPCE is the lowest in Ladakh for both rural and urban areas among all the union territories. Just I'll give you a couple of minutes to contemplate. Yes. Lot of data is there. I have included that in the slide itself rather than me telling you directly. See, coming to the average MPCE of the bottom 5%, India's urban population is higher than that of the rural population. Yes. It is only B is true, this is not true. Okay, the state with the highest rural-urban difference in average MPC is Chhattisgarh. There is a stark difference between the kind of expenditure that is being done by the families in urban and rural areas. that is highest in Chhattisgarh. The MPCE in urban areas of Sikkim, it's lower than that of, no, this is not true. Okay, and the MPCE is the lowest in Ladakh for both both urban and rural areas. This is also not true because this is lowest for Lakshadweep. Okay, ये बहुत ज़्यादा ट्रिकी क्वेश्चन है, बट स्टिल दिस काइंड ऑफ क्वेश्चंस कैन बी एक्सपेक्टेड. ये ESI के लिए भी बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट है. फॉरगॉट टू ऐड इट हियर. It is important as part of your reports. We'll cover these reports in detail also. I have already added into my list, and this is important as part of your ESI current affairs and regular current affairs. I forgot to add it here. See, first point, 33.5% increase in the monthly per capita consumption expenditure in urban households since 2011-12, reaching 3,510, while the rural India's MPC has increased 40.42%. So the increase has been more for rural India when compared to the urban India, but final figures, they are higher for urban India, no doubt in that. In 2022-23, 46% of the rural household expenditure and 39% of the urban household expenditure were on food items. And this they have excluded the Pradhan Mantri, Garib Kalyan Yojana. As part of that, food grains would be provided. That has been excluded here to understand the true sense behind the survey. Okay, Sikkim has the highest MPC in both rural and urban areas. Okay, while Chhattisgarh has the lowest with 2466 for rural households and 4483 for urban households. Important, it has the highest MPC in both the cases, and Chhattisgarh lowest in both the cases. The rural urban difference, as you can see here, in average among the states is highest for Meghalaya, and it is followed by Chhattisgarh. यहाँ पे वही था ना? No, this is wrong. I think मैंने खुद गलत वो दिया है. This is for Meghalaya, the urban rural difference. Okay, it's not Chhattisgarh. I'm really sorry. This I'll correct it. This is actually Meghalaya with 83%. Okay, with 83%. Among the union territories, if we look at, the MPCE is highest in Chandigarh. States में MPCE is highest for Sikkim in both the rural and urban cases, and lowest for Chhattisgarh. Okay, but when we talk about the our union territories, it is highest in Chandigarh. Okay, and lowest in Lakshadweep first, and then Ladakh. Now, the bottom 5% of the India's population ranked by this MPCE has an average MPC. The bottom 5% of the rural population is 1373. Okay, on an average, ये है. Okay, this is the averages, but bottom 5% is 1373, while it is 2001 for the same category for urban areas. It is urban areas का ही ज़्यादा है, even here in this case. The top 5% of the India's rural and urban population ranked by under this MPSC has an average MPSC of 10,501 and 20,824 respectively. So here on half urban में जितना expenditure होता है उसमें सिर्फ half, almost half only is spent by the 5% top rural population. Okay, I'm really sorry वहाँ that for that issue where I have marked the answer wrong. Yes, moving on to our next question. The solar eclipse of April 8, 2024 is also known in the media as the Great Northern American Eclipse. It's not government declared title, but it's as per the media they have to say, because it's one of the largest and longest solar eclipse North America has witnessed in the recent times. It was a total solar eclipse visible across a band covering parts of North America from Mexico to Canada and crossing the contiguous United States. And it seems that again next such solar eclipse they'll be witnessing in 2044. Now consider the following statements with respect to this solar eclipse. कई बार ऐसा होता है कि from the same article you might get questions on the static part also. It's the same thing. Now kindly pay attention to these two statements. Solar eclipse occurs when Earth is positioned precisely between the moon and the sun, and solar eclipse occurs on a full moon day. Now you have to tell me which of these is true. थोड़ा अपने बचपन का जो नॉलेज है उसके रेकअप कीजिए, और जो न्यूज़ पढ़ा है इन दैट ऑल्सो दे मस्ट हैव हाईलाइटेड दिस. See, in this case actually solar eclipse occurs when moon comes. This moon would be in between the earth and the sun. Okay, now because of which it casts its shadow, the moon's shadow on this earth, so it comes in between these two. So this is not true. And solar eclipse occurs on a full moon day. No, it occurs on a new moon day. अमावस के बाद होता है, पौर्णमी के बाद नहीं. Okay, so here neither statement 1 or statement 2 is correct. Both are wrong. See, this is how it occurs. This is sun, moon and earth orbit wherein it casts its shadow. Because of it, see, sometimes it can be total eclipse, as you can see, a complete darkness occurs, or sometimes it can be partial, and it occurs on a new moon day. Lunar eclipse occurs during the full moon phase, where earth is positioned precisely between the sun and the moon. Here in this case earth would be in between, and here would be the sun, here would be the moon. Okay, yes. So moving on to our next question. Britain, not recently but a month back, they have announced, not this week, yes, last, it has happened in Jan-Feb, okay, as far as I remember, that it would withdraw from the Energy Charter Treaty over its failure to align with its net zero plans. And very recently, 2 days back only, European Parliament committees have voted to withdraw European Union from the Energy Charter Treaty. Now this is the news article that has come. Now consider the following statements about the Energy Charter Treaty and tell me which of these statements are not correct. It is an international agreement that establishes a framework for cross-border cooperation in the energy industry. Okay. And unlike in case of fossil fuels, it allows companies to sue governments in case of green energy over policies affecting their investments. Now you have to tell me which of these statements are true. Now this is an agreement that was done in 1991, facilitating collaboration across borders within the energy sectors, especially the fossil industry. Now this treaty covers all those aspects that fall under the commercial activities, including trading, transit, investments, energy efficient, that looks into not only fossil fuels, various other energy providing items as well. So here only statement 1 is correct, but statement 2 is wrong. No, it doesn't allow the companies to sue the government because they're energy green, they're focusing on the green energy. So here this particular agreement, it ensues the current chairman as from Mongolia. Deputy Secretary General is Atsuko Hirose, and it is headquartered in Brussels, Belgium. Now this all the rules of this multilateral trading system has been embodied in the GATT agreement, which later we all know GATT's next stage was World Trade Organization. Okay, as you can see here, this particular treaty, it encompasses various facets of commercial energy activities, including trade, transit, investments, energy efficiency, and treaty that provides a comprehensive framework wherein the main goal is to foster long-term cooperation in energy, emphasizing mutual benefits and complementaries among participating nations. And after 1991, also in 1998, there was iteration of the Energy Charter Treaty that safeguarded. So they have incorporated this green energy and fossil fuels both. Earlier it was launched for facilitating the collaboration across the cross borders within the energy sector, focusing on the fossil fuels. But in 1998, there was iteration and focusing both on the green energy and fossil fuels. Okay. Yes. Though they can't sue, yes, they can litigate. The companies can litigate against the governments for policies impacting their investments, and no doubt in that. But they can't sue them that this has happened, so they have to pay something in return. Okay, now moving on to our next question. Which ministry, very recently they have drafted model rules for childbirth registration? This is majorly to understand the religion of the child and all that. And this particular ministry has proposed new rules for childbirth registration. And if we look at the legal mandate also, the Registration of Births and Deaths Amendment Act 2023 necessitates the inclusion of this information, that is about the child's religion and the religion of both the parents, to be mentioned in the form that is submitted for the child birth registration, that is form number 1 birth report. So this model, these rules have been done for form number 1 birth report, in which they have to mention. So they have added few columns, and this was done by the Ministry of Home Affairs. जो अभी CAA का हुआ था amendment and all that, it was as part of that. Okay, this is majorly done to understand they specifying the child's religion and that of both the parents, and the revised rules also extend to adopted children, ensuring that their religion information is recorded accurately in their birth certificate, your birth registration form. Moving on to our next question. Very recently, the maiden launch of the Angara A5 rocket has happened successfully. But when did it happen? After 2 aborted launches. Now you have to tell me, after reading these statements, which of these statements is true about the Angara A5 space rocket? Yes, before giving you the answer, let me tell you, please join the Telegram group so that whatever sessions that we are conducting, you will not miss out on the same. On the other hand, you will be knowing what are the courses that are being launched and all that, how we are taking it forward. Along with that, you will be getting lots of current affairs information on the group. And the most important of all, you can have a healthy discussion on the group, not only with your mentor, but with your friends as well, related to your exam preparation. Yes, coming to this, the answer for Angara A5 space rocket, it is a 3-stage heavy lift launch vehicle. It's a launch vehicle, okay, developed not by ISRO but by the Russian State Research and Space Center. Okay, it's not Indian but Russian, and it's a launch vehicle. Okay, and that would be not carrying any satellite, but yes, they are, since owing to the kind of standoff that Russia is having with other countries, majority of the works that they have been doing with the International Space Station in the space there, they have halted that, and they're trying to come up with their own space station, for which lots of equipment has to be delivered. So for that, this particular space rocket would be useful. So here neither statement 1 or statement 2 is correct. See, it is capable of delivering up to 24.5 tons of payload into the lower orbit. It is named after Siberian River. The Angara A5 signifies a pivotal advancement in the Russia's space exploration, particularly post the dissolution of the Soviet Union. And it is one of the, very high, huge heavyweight vehicle, which weighs almost 773 tons. Moving on to our last question for today. India's UPI transactions are way more than the US digital transactions. Obviously, our population is very high. Okay, so yes, jokes apart, this has been the statement given by one of the union ministers very recently. Okay, as part of their speeches. Now, from that only we have picked this up. Which of the following statements about the unified payment interface, that's what we are talking about, UPI transactions, it is not correct? Yes, so UPI is the indigenous digital payment system operated by the NPCI. That's true. UPI Lite will enable offline transactions with smaller values. Yes, without that also they can use this. The users will be required to enter their UPI PIN while confirming their UPI Lite payments. No, this is not required, and there is a 2000 limit on the amount of money you can have in UPI Lite wallet. Yes, though you can transact up to rupees 4000 in various transactions per day. Okay, but the limit in that UPI Lite wallet that you can store, that you can store money, that is only 2000. So after exhaustion of that you have to again refill that, okay, or uh, you know deposit money in that. So UPI Lite transactions, they do not require an internet connection for processing. This is true. So this is the only one that is not, where UPI PIN is not required. इसलिए तो U Lite आया, वरना what would have been the difference between the UPI and UPI Lite? Okay, as you have said, 500 rupees per transaction you can do. Okay, and you can add a total of 4000 to your UPI Lite account in a day, but it can hold a maximum of 2000 only. So it doesn't require an e-KYC and all that, and need not use any UPI PIN. So this is all from my end for today. Thank you very much for being so patient. Yes, now the forum is open for your queries, questions, suggestions, anything. If not, I'll wind up the session and meet you all in the afternoon today at 4. Today we have that report, no, India Employment Report. That will be discussing this report. That household expenditure survey report also I have included in the list. So next week mostly, I'm trying to cover as many reports as possible, the recent reports. So let's see, the next week or the next week we'll cover that in detail, because that would be important since it has been released now. ESI के लिए बहुत important रहेगा along with your regular general current affairs. So thank you very much once again. Have a great day ahead. Please take good care of yourself. See you all at 4 then. Take care. Bye bye. And please don't forget to like this session and share this session with your friends.